Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 75 of the Switch It Up Show, now on iHeartRadio. I am your host today, Seth Trav, joined as always by our friend Glenn.
How you doing today, my man? I'm pumped about that iHeartRadio news. We just got the word like an hour ago.
Right? It feels good. It feels like a step in the right direction. Being accepted by yet another platform. You can find us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes,
Google Play.
Where?
Google Play.
Google Play.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's another.
Yeah, maybe. There's a lot, ladies and gentlemen. We're
Find
all
us
over
all
the place.
over. Search for
SoundCloud.
on SoundCloud, of course. That's the bread and butter. With all the rappers and the sweet toss-it tones, just like this one.
So good, man. It's so good. We never let it go that long.
No, we don't. That breakdown, that chorus, if you will, of the of the Anamanaguchi vocal-less beats.
You get away with words. You should do a podcast.
I should, right? You know, it's difficult. You know, I still recover from the concussion. I hit the gym today,
Oof.
feeling extra strong, feeling like I was almost gonna die, which is fitting because I am bringing a review of the freshly ported over Graveyard Keeper,
Ooh.
which comes out this Friday, June 27th, 2019. And if you purchased it within the next 24 hours of releasing this episode, you can get it for $17.99, or it will be $19.99 if you get to it before or after Friday.
All right, not bad.
Right? Anytime you get a little bit of a deal, and hopefully our fans are, what's the word? They're keeping up with us. I don't know the word for it right now.
Subscribe
I'm losing it.
On the ball.
Pre-workout is fading from me.
Yeah, you're struggling.
Just a little bit. Unlike Graveyard Keeper, which is not a struggle. Expand a medieval cemetery into a thriving business, whatever it takes. Graveyard Keeper is the most inaccurate medieval cemetery management sim of the year. Build and manage your own graveyard while finding shortcuts to cut costs. Expand into entertainment with witch-burning festivals and scare nearby villagers into attending church. This is a game of capitalism and doing whatever it takes to build a thriving business. Face ethical dilemmas. Do you really want to spend money on that proper hot dog meat for the festival when you have so many resources lying around? Gather valuable resources and craft new items. Expand your graveyard into a thriving business. Go ahead and gather valuable resources scattered into the surrounding areas and explore what this land has to offer. Make business alliances. These dead bodies don't need all that blood, do they? Why not sell it to someone who can put it to good use? Same for body parts. Hey, it's being efficient with recycling. That's right, stay green, everybody. Explore mysterious dungeons. No medieval game would be complete without these. Take a trip into the unknown and find useful new ingredients, which may or may not poison a whole bunch of nearby villagers. Capitalism. It's from our good friends over at Tiny Build Games and developed by Lazy Bear Games. Now, ladies and gentlemen, originally this was released on Steam and then the Xbox One, I believe, the Xbox Game Place, and now it is coming to Switch and PS4. I was lucky enough to have played this about a year ago with our friend Ash Carefree. She provided a a good helping hand in getting this game going because I was still very much in the throes of my concussion, so couldn't really game much. But all that aside, very happy to get this fresh port of Graveyard Keeper, which does actually change up a few things that were initially not in the release on Steam. First off, I want to say that this game has a very light story. It's very tongue-in-cheek. There are a lot of management games out there, and immediately you're going to want to compare it to Stardew Valley because it has that look, and it's made with RPG Builder. So it very much will give you a vibe of, say, Stardew Valley, or even a game we reviewed, Crashlands, because there are tons of management games. You know, you could be managing parks, zoos, all sorts, even prisons. And now you get to manage a graveyard. It has humor in it. It's very tongue-in-cheek. What happens essentially is that you get hit by a car. You wake up next to a talking skull, which has very silly voices that are basically just like things like that. I always think the voices are fairly silly. After that, there's not too much of a story to speak of. You wind up a lot of the time just meeting someone. They tell you to do something and that they'll be back on this certain symbol today. And then you go. It's something that I have seen a lot of people sort of complain about. The fact that they can't seem to remember what to do or where to go, who to see, what exactly they want. There's a very simple menu for that. It's right there. It says Met NPCs. You take a look at them and it tells you exactly who they are because their body's there, and then it shows you the symbol of the day they'll be back, and it says if they have any tasks that you need to complete for them. The game will oftentimes give you very, very light descriptions of what you need. One example is that it asks you to get this guy paper. And you can ask him, hey, how do I get you paper? He's like, well, you can buy it or you can make it. And that's it. That is it. You're well left to your own devices there. What I have found in my experience is that my graveyard keeping has actually very much become a second thought. You have to manage the grave to get it up to a certain level where it starts out, I believe, negative 25, 23 points. And you need to manage these graves. You have to add different gravestones, take out bodies that are giving you like a negative vibe because their rating has gone down or they're being bitchy, according to this one ghost that you meet. After that, though, it's really sort of just play as you will, do it as you will. And I personally love that. I think it's great that the game isn't holding my hand and it's relying on myself to say, hey, let me take a look at my technology map, which is just knowledge or, you know, just different things that you can unlock for different skills, different abilities to find things in your environment, like wood, bigger wood. And you have to build different things to cut, different things to carve stone, different things to make graves and weapons and armor and things like that. There is a lot of it. There is a good deal of it. And the game really does not hold your hand through any of it. It kind of does, because it's there and you can find it and it'll show you where it is, but it's not like you constantly have someone saying, oh, hey, do this for me, hey, you're missing time on this, you're missing time on that, which again, I love. I find it captivating. I think it's so good. I've spent at least 30 hours playing this game and it's a great time for me. Back to the differences between the Steam version and the Switch port. They added a lot of the things that they patched originally, which is like you can get a travel stone, so that way you can just warp. Personally, I feel like the level, the world map, it's cool to look at. It's a nice little design, but I feel like you could make it a little bit smaller just because there's a lot of walking around to do. I know for a fact that I was doing a lot of things out of order, a la Breath of the Wild, but it allows you to do it. If you can find it and you can craft it and you can make it, good, do that. Because oftentimes you're going to find yourself just grinding for about 3 or 4 hours to get to one specific goal, which of course you and I know a lot about from playing Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing, the grind never ends. So, yeah, Graveyard Keeper is a lot of grinding and a lot of, I don't know. I want to say it's interesting, because I never really know what I'm working towards, but I know that it's there, and I know it's just another new technology, another step up, another way to get to a piece of the puzzle, which there may or may not be a satisfying end to. It isn't that satisfying for a lot of people, from what I've seen. I personally didn't mind it. I think it's all fine. There is an end to the game, which is cool. But again, you'll spend a lot of time just trying to grind out one specific objective, and that'll be it. And your grave really comes in like secondary. They are also releasing the expansion, which I believe is called Dead something. Where a lot of zombies are actually going to automate your processes for you, like gathering resources, which I think is really cool. I've gotten conflicting reports that it's either free or $5. Either way, I'd suggest doing it. Get it. As I said, the game is only $17. Definitely pick it up. The only real issue that I had playing this game is that for some reason, certain textures are stuck forward, so your character walks through them or underneath them. Like this one bridge, for some reason, my character always walks underneath it. And I also found an issue where going into one of my inventory boxes, as soon as I press down, it takes me into another like menu area where you can't actually do anything, and there's no way to actually get up to your resources again to put them in your inventory box. But there is a way around it. I just had to go over in the other thing, go down, and then back into my original inventory box. It's a very weird glitch, but none of it is game breaking for me, and it's kind of annoying, but it's not detracting enough from the game that I want to say I hate it. And hopefully they patch it up again soon. Game's not even out yet, so fingers crossed on that one. But for me, I am going to give Graveyard Keeper 4 skulls out of 5.
Only 4. That's weird because how much you've been playing this thing like lately. Like I was convinced this was going to be a 5 out of 5.
It could have been. Part of me wants to give it like a 3.5 because of the glitches, but it's so engrossing to me. I've played other management sims like Crashlands that just have legitimately crashed on me, and that's no good. That's no fun. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. Needs a couple patches, and yeah, if you can deal with not having your handheld or actually like that and enjoy being able to just go into your menu to take a look at what you need to find, this game is going to be for you. Also, if you're bored with Stardew Valley, yeah, check it out. Graveyard Keeper.
Awesome, my man. Well, we're going to go ahead and shift gears with Leisure Suit Larry Wet Dreams Don't Dry. Now, this is an intense, like a little shift. I don't know if we've probably covered like an M-rated game before, and we've definitely covered like a dating simulation, but in Leisure Suit Larry, they kind of take it a little bit further. Now, when I say that, they don't go too crazy, but they're big on like the double entendres and like objects that look like certain parts of the anatomy, both male and female. Leisure Suit Larry does find himself in some, shall we say, interesting situations. for those of you who aren't familiar, Leisure Suit Larry is a point-and-click adventure game. It was actually originally produced by Sierra, the company that made Sam & Max, Full Throttle, a bunch of those LucasArts adventure games. And this is one of the titles that they had, and there were a lot of sequels. I think this is the 8th game, if I'm not mistaken.
There might be more.
Series.
I feel like the last one that came out was where he went on a cruise ship.
Yeah, there's been a couple. Like,
he's been going since what, the 70s? Originally released on the Atari 2600.
Yeah, I think the first one is like 1979. Like right around there, it was like a text adventure game. So it's been around for quite a while. It's been on a bunch of different systems, but I mean, I remember seeing this like game in the store back in like CompUSA when you could go to a computer like game store and like
CompUSA, not even Circuit City.
No, man, I remember CompUSA. And you would go there, and they would have like Doom and like all like the like original like classic games like up on the shelf, and you could just like pick them out and check them out. Like you go to GameStop now, you would go there, and I remember seeing this game there and being like, whoa, like I can't play that. Like Sam & Max was about as like as intense game like that I would play when I was little, but this game was always
not Myst.
I played Myst, but like really when I was a kid, like the games on PC that I would play would be like first-person shooters. Like I was big on Doom and like Heretic and like Rise of the Triad. Like I played all those like first-person shooters when I was a kid. I did play Myst too, but like
quick side note, they're developing Myst into a series.
Real? That's. I feel like that's like right up your alley. I feel like that's got Lost written all over it.
That was exactly what I was thinking. As soon as I immediately thought this is going to be Lost, and I'm going to love it as long as it's not filmed terribly.
Well, I mean, we're going to have to see, but something that is actually filmed and looks pretty good. Leisure Suit Larry. The artwork in this game is like on point. Like this
I loved it,
dude. Like it looks good. Like it seems like everything is pretty much hand drawn. And what's neat is that the backgrounds it has that type of art style to it anyway. Like the backgrounds are kind of like lifelike. When you're in an alley or in a bar, like there are things that are like moving, like lights are flickering. You hear all like the sounds of the alley. Like it's very atmospheric. When you're in the seedy bar, it feels
gave me real like
seedy.
old school Flash animation vibes.
Yeah,
like Homestar Runner.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like they nailed it, man. Like graphically, this game looks really good. But before I jump into more of that, let me hit you with a little bit of the synopsis off of the Nintendo Switch eShop website. Now, what's interesting about this is written as if Larry himself is talking to you. So I will read this as Leisure Suit Larry. It says, "Hey ladies, I'm back in business. My new adventure, Leisure Suit Larry Wet Dreams Don't Dry, takes me wherever the route or twist of fate from the end of the 1980s directly into the 21st century, and wow, has the world changed. While my view of the world and women from way back in the 1980s collides with modern reality harder, well, that's intense. I'm all set to date my way across the modern world." Had to edit that one for content. They're not messing around on the eShop. It's actually pretty intense that this game is on the eShop. Like normally Nintendo for the most part has played it pretty safe when it comes to like what type of games come out on their consoles, but I feel like when the Switch hit, they kind of just were like, here you go.
They opened up the floodgates. You got Galgun 2. You got Leisure Suit Larry Wet Dreams Don't Dry, where you see the naked pixelated woman in the bar as a poster.
Yeah, but that's like, I mean, like you describe it like it's like I mean, I feel like
she is a 6-bit naked woman.
Like it is a strat. Like
it is literally a blob of
any artwork,
pseudo tan.
Any artwork that you see, like in a museum is more revealing than
yes, yes, and it is a true work of art, as Larry says.
So point and click adventure game. Not necessarily going to be for everybody, but if you're not familiar, basically what happens is Larry wakes up. He has somehow been transported from the 1980s to present day, and what I feel like is weird is that he has a line right in the beginning where he says everybody he knows is dead, and I'm like, how?
Yeah,
like really, like everybody you know, like 30 years, everyone you know is dead?
His ensemble reminded me of Cousin Eddie in Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, that's spot on. But I just couldn't get over. I'm like, say some present day. How is everybody you know dead 30 years from now? And like, I don't know. It's strange that he figured that out. So he ends up going down to his local bar and trying to kind of just get his bearings to figure out what's going on. And he learns, of course, that he is now in present day and that things aren't quite the way they used to be back in the 80s. And he's basically there to kind of like date his way because there is the affection of one lady in particular that he would like to earn. But she will only go out with him if he raises his Tinder, they call it Timber dating score to a certain level. So in order for her to go out with him, he has to kind of date these women and like hopefully the dates go well so that they rate him high on the app. I myself have not used Tinder. I don't think it works like that. I don't think you get a rating.
It does not work that way.
I'm like, this sounds like a weird Black Mirror episode.
Appearance is the key.
They
that first photo is all you get.
Well, let me tell you, Larry's not exactly winning people over with his appearance, so you have to try your best to use his smoothest lines, of which he gives you usually 4 to pick from. I actually think the voice acting in this game is one of the strengths. I don't know.
Great, that bartender was awesome.
A lot of the side characters, like everybody sounds like good. Everyone's like well acted. I think Larry himself, like, even though I don't like Larry, he's like a sleazeball. Like the actor who plays him, like his voice, like I don't know, it seems like
it worked.
Yeah, it seems like I don't know, man. I feel like that voice, like I feel like you'll feel bad for Larry for some reason. Like I guess you pity him. You want things to go well, but every time like you're picking his dialogue choices, you're like, ugh, you're like none of these are good, Larry. Like
I'll be honest, he reminds me a little bit of our boy Kevin.
Oh man,
bit of our boy Kevin.
No. Kevin's not
Go back,
nearly.
listen to an episode of Toonskis, see if you can get him off of his Tinder swiping.
Well, we'll see. So it's a non-linear gameplay. It says it's got over 30 hand-drawn venues. Like I said, the drawing and art in this game looks really, really good. And they're going back to, and it also says they have 30 hand-drawn characters. I feel like there might have been more. Maybe that's just because everything like looked so different and vibrant. But the atmosphere and graphics in this game are definitely where it shines. If you like point and click adventure, I feel like you might be into it. But then you really also have to kind of be into this type of, not just the type of game, but like this plot. Like, because this takes point and click adventure and then narrows it even more to like a dating simulation, but not even like a dating simulation like some of the ones that we've covered here on this like podcast before. It's more like a, I don't know, more like a jokey. I
forget the term for them, but they're Japanese dating sims.
Yeah,
is what we've mostly covered.
But we did that one.
It's not yokai.
No, that's Ghost. Yokai Watch.
Yomari, maybe? I can't recall.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But we did cover one, what was that dating sim that we did a while ago where you were in school and like you were dating everybody? Like both like boy and girl, but there was like an actual story to it. That one was really good.
Yeah. Your Story, right?
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Your Story.
Yeah.
You could choose.
Yeah, that was good.
You could choose whatever gender you wanted to be. Character's look didn't change at all. You could be completely, bi, going with everybody, which is obviously the goal in every choose your own adventure game, is to sleep with everyone.
Well, that game itself was like, it's more like, I don't know, there was a mystery aspect to part of it.
A little bit.
I thought it was cool because the story was as interesting as like, the actual like gameplay itself. This one, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think the story is quite that great. I feel like you have to be a fan of Leisure Suit Larry in order to get this, and I don't really know who the audience is. Like, I don't know if there's that many fans.
Experienced Tinder at all, if you've experienced OkCupid, if you've been on eHarmony, if you've been on Match, if you've done plenty of Fish, I think you're gonna connect with it a lot better because it's there. And if you're also a little fed up with hipster vlogging, influencer types, you might also jive with it a little bit.
You know, Set Trap, but if you're experienced with all those things, do you really want to play a game that brings you back into that world? From what I understand, people don't exactly have the best time on some of those apps, especially social media in general.
Now, so our boy Kevin, again, he tried to get me to sign up for something called Ship.com, I think it is.
Okay.
And basically what it is, it's a website for people who can't mind their own business or stay out of their friends' lives, because your friends are the people who are now doing the swiping for you. So they see all the women and you say, okay, yeah, she's good for him. He's good for her. They are good for them. That sort of nonsense. And I told him straight up, I was like, why would you invite that evil onto me again? I can't do that. That's not for me, man. I'm like, I don't need to look at other women. I've got a great woman. I want to look at her. And even that gets difficult sometimes because I'm trying to game all the time. You know, I barely got the time to look at the one. Now I'm supposed to look at these other women for you. And anytime I've ever told him about women that I've seen on his dating sites, I'm like, yeah, swipe on her. He's like, no, she doesn't seem cool. I'm like, so what are you asking me to do it for? We got different tastes, man.
Hey, man, well, if you want to help our friend Leisure Suit Larry find, the woman of his dreams, then you can do it right here in this game. But here's where the catch is. One, not only do you have to be a fan of point-and-click adventure, smaller audience, I gotta say it. Not only do you have to be a fan of Leisure Suit Larry, way smaller audience, I would imagine, like for the average age of like the person who has a Nintendo Switch, like I feel like it's a younger console. I barely know who Leisure Suit Larry is, and because like I was pretty super young when these games were like somewhat popular, and even I'm like, meh. And on top of that, it's expensive. This game is $39.99 on the Nintendo eShop. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's pricey. So you're going to have to fork over that money. Now, like I said, graphics, music, like atmosphere, like this game like looks really, really good. The puzzles and stuff, like it plays like well in the point-and-click adventure style, but it's a small audience, and I just don't know if for that price point that it's necessarily worth it. And Leisure Suit Larry himself, not exactly like a likable guy. So, like, I mean, it's kind of it's
kind of a skis.
Yeah, definitely a skis. So
little smarmy.
I mean, that being said, you do know what game you're getting into when you purchase this. So if this is what you're looking for, it is exactly what you think it is. We'll just say that. But I'm gonna give this like the middle of the road. I'm gonna give this because of the art, I'm gonna give this a 3. Because it's about as high as I can go. It's a like middle of the road game for me, at least. I wasn't the biggest fan, but you can definitely appreciate the fact that different parts of like parts of this are done very well, and I feel like the people who worked on it were probably fans of like the original games, because it feels like a lot of like effort was put into it. That's my take anyway.
It is Larry himself is something of a historical figure in gaming. Is it good he's still around?
Right.
Maybe we've moved beyond. Maybe we've moved past that, as is major plot point of that game. But ladies and gentlemen, if you don't like it, of course you can follow us in doing all the things we do. Check out our previous episodes. Listen to some other great reviews. We've done a bunch of great point-and-click adventure games, as well as other town management type sim games. And if any of those get boring, you can always switch it up.